Welcome to the Take It to the Bank Masterclass, where you will learn how to budget your five-figure income so that you can add a zero to your savings account, eliminate debt, and plan for international travel. So, I actually just attempted to do this masterclass, and I had a few of you on live with me. And man, these tech issues. What had happened was the Wi-Fi went out. I completely lost the Wi-Fi. So I'm hoping this holds up together and it is a-okay. I'm just gonna run through this as quickly and efficiently as possible. So make sure you're in a quiet space. There's no distractions. You are locked in and loaded, ready to go. You have your notebook ready, your pen, your paper, and we're going to dive right in throughout this training. There will be a few moments where you will have some reflection, some things to write down, some notes to take. So I do definitely recommend having that notebook or something, maybe a Google Doc pulled up so that you can run through that. All right, so let's dive right in. Okay, so I know you're not able to comment, but I would love for you to introduce yourself. Let me know where you are in the world right now. I'm going to act like some of you are here and you're with me because, I mean, you're here watching this and giving me your time, prioritizing you, your life, your future. So I would love to know, where are you in the world right now? I'm currently in Bacalar, Mexico. I've been solo traveling the world, making my way up through Central America, and it's been incredible. It's been such a journey. Okay. And what are you most excited for? I want you to really reflect on what you are most excited for. Like, why are you here today? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? And whatever that is for you, I want you to know that you are going to get there. Whatever you are wanting some support with and you're wanting to really get under control, whatever it is that you're trying to get under control, it is 1000% possible for you to do so. It just starts with you. So you're here today because you want to learn how to create a spending plan that doesn't feel restrictive or difficult to follow so that you can increase your savings, pay off debt, and plan for international travel. If you're worried that you're going to stress over money your whole life, I'm here to tell you that you won't have to. We are no longer allowing ourselves to fall into the victim mindset and you are here today because you have a vision, right? You're attracted to me, my community, my people, and you have a vision. And your goal is to build a sustainable financial legacy for yourself and for your family. So let me know if this sounds like you. You're making good money, but at the end of the month have little to nothing to show for it, leaving you wondering where the heck your money went, and you don't have the time or energy to keep up with that because of your fast-paced lifestyle. You're tired of not knowing how to manage your money, and you don't know who to turn to because everything you read online is confusing and misleading, which makes looking at your money feel like a chore. You're putting your money routine on the back burner because you don't know how much you should be actually saving, investing every month. And talking about money feels like learning Chinese because you don't know where to start. Okay, well, some of you know me, some of you don't. My name is Yvonne Wilson. A few achievements that I have to this day. I've rented a one-bedroom apartment in California by 25. I'm now 27. For those of you that don't know, in California, you have to make two and a half times the rent and have a good credit score to qualify. So this was a big deal. I have paid off over $15,000 of debt while also taking care of a DUI during a pandemic. I have been traveling for both business and pleasure. I have healed my relationship with money and investing in something I believe in 1000%. I am now on track to becoming debt-free. I quit my 9 to 5 earlier this year and am now a full-time digital nomad solo traveling the world. But the thing is, I wasn't always financially literate. Back in 2018, I had no handouts. I had little to no support. I hit rock bottom. I was working 2 serving jobs, drinking and partying until 6 a.m. I was coping with substances, skipping family dinners, losing track of what day it was. I dropped out of community college to afford living. I did have suicidal intentions, and this is when I got my DUI. In 2018, I knew I wasn't meant to drink my life away, so I started looking for a solution. I quit drinking and using. I became a Starbucks barista to avoid any temptations, which, by the way, totally worked. I thought if I shouldn't work with alcohol, I should probably work with coffee. I was still renting a room in a stranger's home, barely affording rent, let alone food, wondering if I'd ever be financially free. It wasn't until 2021 that I connected with someone that could teach me the concepts that would forever change my life. In 2021, I became a licensed financial educator for WealthWave, the How Money Works company, teaching families while leading a team of entrepreneurs how to do the same. And this would not have happened if I didn't have immense belief in myself. So here are a few photos from convention 2022. You can see I even went through a weight loss journey. I've actually lost over 80 to 90 pounds since 2022, just really focusing on me, my growth, and my passion. And of course, if I did not take radical control of my decisions, this is a photo from the apartment that I had in the living room towards the kitchen with me and my dog at the time. So you can see it was a very small space, one bedroom apartment, but it was perfect for my first place. And this is just a quick snapshot of my vision board. So you can see the two nonprofits. I want to donate 50,000 to $100,000 someday. My luxury car is a Mercedes. I want to travel the world. That's my dream home. And of course, speaking on stages and representing the How Money Works brand. Okay, so are you ready? We're about to dive in. Are you ready? Amazing. Let's get started. So, this is the money mastery method. This is the exact method that I have used to get to where I am today. It's super simple, easy to understand. First, what we're going to do is we're going to learn. And then we're going to audit. And next, we're going to plan. So, a few quotes that I like to live by and I like to teach on. The first one being, you cannot hit a target you cannot see, from Zig Ziglar. This is so true because if we're going after something and we can't see it, how do we know what to go after? The next one is, those who fail to plan, plan to fail. If you don't have a plan in place, you are planning to fail, and it's more likely for you not to reach the end destination. The last one is, the starting point of all achievement is desire. So I love this one too. It's very similar to the quote before, where you have to really get crystal clear on what exactly it is that you want to be going for. And that ultimately is the thing that you desire. So I love Napoleon Hill. I love his work. A lot of what I teach is influenced by his books and his message and his passion. So my goal for you today is to teach you so well that you could teach someone else this information. Because Money Maestro is literally translated to money teacher. So I want you to become so good. You're going to become a money maestro and become a part of this community. You're going to be the best money teacher. You're in your family and for your legacy. And I'm so excited. Okay, so a budget isn't telling your money where to go. It's wondering where, sorry, a budget. Oh, this is actually backwards. I'm looking at this trying to figure it out. So this is actually backwards. So it goes, a budget is not wondering where your money went, it's telling your money where to go. So what most people do is they, at the end of the month, try to figure out like where the heck their money went. But instead, what we want to do is create a spending plan where we tell our money where to go. So this is actually backwards, but that's funny. So, okay. Also, I'm going to kind of love and shove you throughout this challenge because, or throughout this training, because I know that so many of you need to hear this. Because I know that and when I was in your position, I really needed someone to say these things. And you know that I have very strong opinions, but for very logical reasons. So, checking your budgeting apps alone is not a budgeting strategy. I have so many people that come to me and I ask them, like, what are you doing? Are you keeping track of your money? Like, when's the last time you budgeted? And they tell me, oh, I checked my app like a month ago. And I'm like, okay, that is not a budgeting strategy. That is a pulse check-in. So you're just checking in on what's been going on, but you're not actually doing anything and you're not making any progress because of that. So instead of calling it a budget, let's call it a spending plan. So a lot of people feel almost like, what's the word? Like, I don't even like saying this, but they feel like cringe. They feel like ugh, like just icky, gross. about the word budget. So what I like to do is call it a spending plan. We're going to plan and track our spending plan. So today, you're going to understand how to become a good money placer without using ridiculous budgeting ratios. And really, because they make absolutely no sense for the goals that you have for yourself and your family at your current age. So instead, what we're going to do is we'll be using logic. So what you can expect during the remainder of this training, because I like foundations, I like something that has a 1, 2, 3 step, and it's just the way that I operate, and this is the way that I like to teach. So this is what you can expect the remainder of the training. First, we're going to go into reflection questions, and then we're going to dive into goal setting, and then we'll go into the next steps of what exactly you have to do to implement everything that we've covered. So we're going to dive into the reflection questions. So you can choose to answer these as we go, or maybe jot them down on your piece of paper and come back to them later after this training and really just sit with that and reflect on that. Okay. So your time is your most valuable asset. And a lot of you would agree with this, that your time is more valuable than money. But I've noticed that a lot of you have been showing otherwise, right? You're putting your attention, your time, your energy in places where maybe they aren't really necessary. And so that leads me into this question. What is consuming you? Where do you have leaky energy? So this could be anything, right? So food, people, substances, um, your environment. So what does this look like, right? So are you have toxic people in your life? Maybe you're having negative conversations. Maybe you're not eating as healthy as you like. Maybe you're not getting any movement in throughout the day. Maybe you need to start paying attention to the amount of screen time you have. And maybe instead, you can start with morning yoga. You can go for daily walks with your dog. Maybe you can listen to more podcasts, fuel your brain with more education rather than songs that are talking about negative things and partying or, like just, and oh, one big thing is that I cut out from my life is not choosing not to listen to the news. And some of you may disagree with this, but I find that the news is something that is very negative. And although it is it is good to stay up to date. For the most part, they are trying to entice fear and negativity and almost like manipulate us in a way where if we were to just pull back and silence all of the news, all of the media streams, you would see a difference in your mental health. So, where do you have leaky energy in your life? And where can you be more intentional with your habits, your rituals, and your routines? What I like to do every single Monday is set weekly intentions for that week. I also do this on a monthly basis, but on a weekly basis, every single Monday, I set in all 4 areas of health, wealth, relationships, and joy, all 4 areas, and you're going to just like they could be very simple. Just what are some things that you want to accomplish in those 4 areas this week that is going to help you improve? That's going to help you become a more functioning, highly energetic being where you're able to stay on top of the things that you have to do in order to reach your weight loss goals, your financial goals, your success, career goals, all of it, right? So health, wealth, relationships, and joy. Okay, so if it doesn't bring you peace, profits, or purpose, then don't give it your time, energy, and attention. I love this quote because it's so true. And honestly, I think we all could be reminded of it. But I think for so many of us, a lot of us are people pleasers. And I think we hate to admit it, but it's true. Like we're constantly just allowing ourselves to be there for people, maybe giving more of our attention, more of our time, where we should be setting stronger boundaries. And all that comes down to is people pleasing. So if it doesn't bring you peace, profits, or purpose, then don't give it your time, energy, or attention. Okay, so this next question is something I want you to reflect on by yourself, but is this I'm gonna relay to you how what my perspective is on this, because I think that it's very eye-opening to hear this perspective. So, what does it mean to pay yourself first? So for most people, would say, every time I get paid, I buy something for myself and I splurge and I go take myself on a date, or, like you do something for yourself, whether that's your haircut, get your nails done, you go, I don't know, you go splurge, you go to Target and you spend $200, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it's buying a plane ticket. You're like, heck yeah, like I'm going to go fly here now. Like, none of that stuff is bad unless it's like too frequent. But instead of it looking at it as in literally paying yourself, I want you to think of it as paying your future self. So instead of thinking of it in the present, now we're just going to take that same concept, except think about it in your future. So take that concept and relate it back to what it's going to mean to invest and to save. Because ultimately, if you're investing, it's going to your future self. If you're saving, it's also going to your future self. So we're going to pay ourselves first before we actually spoil and treat ourselves. It's different. I think treating yourself and paying yourself are two different things. And I think a lot of people get that mixed up. Okay. So I'm here to tell you that it's not your subscriptions. It's not your Starbucks drink. It's not your weekly dates. It's not your little pick-me-ups throughout the week. It's your emotional spending. So for most people, what happens is like all of us are going through something. Like nobody's ever not going through something. And it's going to be it's human nature to want to buy ourselves something, to splurge, to finally get the thing that we deserve. And so what happens is we choose to operate in a more emotional based thinking, whereas it should have been more logical. And so this is something that I ask all of my clients to do before they decide to actually make that purchase, is give yourself, I call it the 48-hour rule. So wait 48 hours, ask yourself if you still need it. If the answer is yes, then go to the next question. Is this thing that I want to buy going to hold me back on my financial goals? If the answer is no, go to the next question. Can I afford to pay this in full and still be okay, still be on track, right? If you could go, if that answer is yes, I can pay that in full and I can still afford to keep going, and it's not going to be an impulse buy, then yes, buy the thing. But if for any reason any of those did not add up, then it can absolutely wait. And if anything, this is going to build the discipline and allow you to appreciate whatever it is that you actually want to buy that you feel like you are so deserving of. Okay, so when is the best time of the month to budget? When is the best time of the month? So I know that nobody is live right now, but I know some of you answered this. And someone had said at the beginning of the month, right? This is common sense. A lot of us are like, okay, I paid my rent. Now what do I do? What do I do now? And the thing with that is, yes, that is good thinking. However, it's not as frequent and it's not as realistic as we would want it to be, right? So the way that I have done it and operated for the last few years is the week after the first of the month and the week before the first of the month. So this would be on a bi-weekly basis. You would basically just do a check-in and just know what's going in and what's coming out, like really just get an idea of like, okay, cool. So I had this event. Okay, I'm flying here. Okay, I met with this person, my specialist here. Okay, this is what's going towards my taxes. Okay, cash collected. So whatever that looks like for you, this should be on a personal finance level every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. And so the reason why it's every 2 weeks is because things come up where like when we least expect it. We're constantly like, oh crap, like I got a flat tire, or maybe, you had an extra charge that was a service fee you had no idea about, or maybe you weren't able to get any food, so you went to that restaurant for one night. And those things, they add up and we don't realize it, but it does. So just it's really a matter of those unexpected charges that occur that we need to really be keeping up with on a bi-weekly basis. So this is why the 2-week base framework works the best. Okay, so now we're going to dive into getting in the money zone. Okay. Okay, so getting the money zone. So how exactly do I prepare to look at my money? So a lot of people they honestly, like most people dread looking at what's going on until they actually get into the routine of it. And I call it like going to the financial fitness gym, right? You have to like keep putting in your reps. And I'm a small person, so I have small arms, but um, you have to continuously put in the reps for you to like actually look forward to looking at your money. And so this is what I do to set the mood, right? So I put on a nice outfit, I listen to a favorite song, maybe I do a dance party or two or three, and I make my tea, my coffee, a snack, and I just like mentally prepare to sit down and to just run through the numbers. Open up your bank statement, open up your budgeting template, plug those numbers in, make sure everything is up to date, and you're ready to go. So what is something that you can do, whether that's meditating or, making your tea, making your favorite little snack, whatever that looks like for you, maybe that will help. Okay, so now we're going to go into the goal setting portion. So I know that if you're watching this replay, I'm going to give you access to the annual spending plan template that I use. It is absolutely incredible. The reason why it is the best, and I believe it is the best, is because it has all 12 months. Every single month is broken down. You have your expenses in one column, one place. It will automatically distribute that throughout all 12 months if this is a reoccurring payment. And then you can also insert your savings, your debt, and your investing goals. And it will automatically calculate this at the end with a pie chart. It'll show you the whole complete breakdown. It's colorful, there's emojis, it's in dark mode. So if you don't like looking at white sheets, like documents, it's perfect for you because it's in dark mode. I personally dread looking at white documents sometimes because I've worked on computers for so long that it's just like my brain just it wants to look the other way. So I think it is absolute game changer and it definitely works. It's just a matter of you keeping up and staying up to date. Okay, so in order to save, invest, and pay off our debt, we need to increase our income and lower our expenses. So your expenses should be less than half of your income. So half of your monthly income, it should be between 30 to 40%. For most people, this looks like 50 to 60, and the sweet spot is right around 30 to 40. So if this is not the case, then we need to increase your income and really consider lowering your expenses because this is going to eat you alive in the long run, which is probably why you're not able to save as much or invest in as much. And remember, you have to pay yourself first. So by this time next year, how much do you want to have in your savings account? So like, what is a good number for you that is realistic? I know for so many of us, we want to say 100,000, 500,000, a million. Like this is possible. This is absolutely doable. I do not want to discourage you, but I want you to make this a realistic number because we're about to break this down. Okay, so whatever that number is for you, I want you to take that number. So 50,000, 100,000, 150, 200. Divide that by 12. Now divide that by how often you get paid. So whether you are working a full-time job or you're an entrepreneur and you get paid more frequently, this is going to vary. But take that number, divide that number by 12, and then divide that by how often you get paid. Just round it out. What this is going to do is this is going to tell you how much to save every paycheck that you get when you receive a deposit. And now that you have that yearly savings goal, we're going to calculate another way to look at this for the end of this year. So take that yearly goal, go back to that goal number, divide it by 4. And now this is going to tell you the amount that you will have by the end of this year. So December of 2024. So keep that number in mind because this is the exact number that you're going to have by the end of this year. We're going to stay on track and make sure that you hit this number. So something that helps me and also helps my clients is to not overspend on a monthly basis and overspend in general. What I want you to do is come up with a weekly spending limit. And for some of you, this may look like 100, 200, 500, 1,000. Of course, it's going to vary, but I want this number to make sense where if you multiplied it by 4, so 4 weeks, it's doable, right? So if that's, okay, so say it's going to be 200. So you choose 200 a week, keep that amount in mind throughout that week. And if you happen to go under, you know that you're still on track and you're not overspending. So for example, by Monday, you're already at $40. By Wednesday, now you're at 150. By Friday, you're at 180. So by Saturday, you're still under 200. So you're still under that threshold. So you know that you're still doing good. Like you're still on track. You didn't overspend. And that way, you don't feel guilty, shameful, and regretful for whatever it is that you spent on that whole week. This is something that really kept me in check and made me feel so much better that I was like, oh my God, like, heck yeah. Like I celebrate myself and I'm like, you did it. You stayed under the limit. You did fucking great. Good job. Keep going. And I'm serious. I would have talks like that with myself because overspending it gets so easy when you're making good money. And so we just want to be a little more conscious, a little more aware of where our money is going. Okay. So now we're going to go into tackling our debt. So the first thing is to know what you owe. So know exactly what the heck is going on, knowing how much and of what specific kind of debt. So a really good website that I tell all of my clients to look on, if you're based in the US, you are a US citizen, is annualcreditreport.com. For those of you that are international travelers that I've met, you may not be able to access this, but there may also be an alternative. I just don't know what that is. If you go to this website, please know and keep in mind that you can only access this information every 12 months. So if you access this today, September 10th of 2024, you cannot access and pull that full credit history since you started your history till today for another 12 months until next year. Okay, so a few tips. What I want you to do is focus on paying off lower debts first before you tackle those higher debts. Some people like to say the opposite, where they're like, go after the higher debt amounts because it's building more interest, which means that you're only burning more money. But in reality, it's way easier to pay off those smaller debts before tackling those big debts. So start with those small ones, start with the small ones, and you will feel more likely and inclined to tackle those big ones. Okay, so this is a big one. Never close an account if it's paid in full. Keep it open if it's not in use. So many people think like, yes, I paid off my credit card. I'm ready to close it. Let's get rid of it. I'm done. I'm done with all of these 10 lines of credits. And this is going to hurt your history because basically what's going to happen is I want you to think of it like a puppet, right? So you have a puppet and there's strings, like it's one of those puppet with the strings and it's dangling and you cut one of those strings and all of a sudden now you're left with 4 strings. And so they're like, what the heck? Like, why did that happen? What's going on? And so essentially you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you have all your strings and you keep them because your credit history is so vital for your credit score and how it's determined and how it's calculated. Another one is to keep your credit utilization ratio at 30% or lower. So what this means is, for example, if you have a $10,000 credit card limit, you only want to use $3,000 of that 10. And I know you're probably like, oh my God, like what? What? I know. I was the same way. I don't know why they don't tell us this stuff, but this is actually another big factor in determining your credit score is how much is used of the total amount. So same thing, if you have $1,000 limit, you only want to spend 300. So keep it under $300. And the next tip is to pay your statement balance and not your minimum balance. A lot of people, they're like, okay, I'm just going to take care of the minimum and I'm good. And yes, that is doing something. However, we really want to make sure we take care of that statement balance. This will definitely propel you and to prove that you have good history and you're capable of continuing to make those payments. The last thing is to consider debt consolidation. So this combines all existing debts, which can lower your total amount owed and bring down your monthly payments. And in order to determine how much you should be paying off debt, this is going to vary by which type of debt you owe. So I can't really go into any of the specifics of you specifically because I don't know your situation or what exactly you have. But this is something to keep in mind. So unsecured debt are all the credits that are not tied to an asset. So you have your credit cards, student loans, medical bills, and personal loans. Secured debt are debts that are tied to an asset. So your mortgage, your car loans, some credit cards, and student loans. Okay. So we only have so much time here. So I definitely want to finish out before we end. So step 1 is to identify your money goals. Step 2 is to make a money plan. Now that you know you've identified your goals, now we need to put a plan in place. Remember the money mastery method. So learn, audit, and plan. Step 3 is to improve money habits. Of course, this is going to take time, but slowly but surely you can implement this and know that you are right on track to hitting your goals, whatever that means to you. So pulse check, we did do this in the training. How are you feeling? I hope you're doing great. I hope this has definitely helped you. You're taking some good nuggets away from this because this is gold. This should have been a paid training, but I'm giving this to you for free. So not taking action is the most expensive choice you can make. So your next step is to commit to yourself, commit to learning, commit to actually doing something with this information. Because it's one thing to take it in, but you don't actually learn until you do something about it and you take those next steps. So learning how to create a money plan. So I want you to commit to learning how to create a money plan so you can become debt free, buy your dream home, travel the world, and retire before 65. I don't know about you, but that sounds freaking amazing. So, can I share something with you that I've been working on? I have been working so hard the past 3 years to really put something together that I believe so many of you need and you're craving and you want. Can I share that with you? Is that okay? Okay. So I've noticed that so many of you, you want guidance, you want accountability, you want support, you don't want to feel like you're alone on this. You don't want to feel like looking at your money is a chore. You don't want to feel like you're just lost and confused and you're wondering if you'll ever be able to retire or be financially free or know what to invest in or all of those questions. And I am here to bring something to you that is absolutely incredible and game changing. It is the Wealthy CEO. This is a 3-month group coaching program to help you eliminate debt, add zeros to your savings account, and track your money so you can build a multi-million-dollar portfolio and travel the world. So what's inside? We will have 2 monthly live calls, community support, money mindset tips, the accountability tracking, and 2 strategically placed one-on-ones with me where we will meet and I'll dive into that a little more. So this is for you. If every time you get paid, you want to know exactly where every dollar should be going, you want the monthly accountability, and you crave a supportive space of people to cheer you on while you're tracking your money, and you don't want it to feel like a chore that you have to tackle alone. So here's how it works. We'll meet every 2 weeks. We have one in the morning and one in the evening where you will plug in, ask questions, and dedicate this time to staying on top of your money. So in our first one-to-one check-in, will map out where you are now and where you want to be by the end of this quarter. So by the end of this year, where exactly you want to be. Plus, you'll get additional lifetime trainings and access to the Money Maestro community. So looking at the value of this program, the monthly live group coaching is valued at $10,000. The recorded calls are also $10,000. You have 2 private coaching calls with me, one-on-one, valued at $15,000. A lifetime additional training access, $20,000, and the lifetime private community. So would this be worth $75,000 to you? I'm here to tell you that you won't be able to navigate through this through information alone. You won't be able to find your answers on Google or get the best advice from Reddit forums and whatever else that you're reading online, because a lot of people have different opinions and different ways of navigating through life. And it's not a one size fits all. Personal finance is personal, and you have to have a tailored plan to you. And that's exactly what we'll be doing together. So because you're here and you're watching this training, I do have a special offer for you today. You will also get access to the Eliminate Your Income Challenge. This is a 5-day energetic program to embody, hold onto, and step into your ultimate wealth state so that you can make unrealistic amounts of money in your business without having to do more. So throughout this challenge, you'll be able to reflect, plan, and understand what it takes to operate as a highly energetic being. Every day of the challenge is inspired by one of the 13 steps to riches from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And it's also mixed with what I teach around money mindset. You'll be able to learn how to double your income, which will help you double your influence and double your impact. So with all of this stacked onto each other, plus the additional Elevate Your Income 5-day program, this is now valued at $95,000. So the early bird price for this offer ends Thursday at midnight. So if you're watching this, this is Tuesday night, September 10th. By September 12th at midnight, the price will go up. So right now, you can pay in full for $750, or you can pay on a monthly basis for only $250. After Thursday, on Friday, the price will increase and go up to $997 pay in full, or $333 a month. And there will be limited spots available because I can only take on so many people. This is a really intense and supportive, intimate group of people that you will develop a relationship for the long run. And I really want you to look at this from a broader perspective, because if we think in the long term, the more progress we will see. If we're thinking very short term, the less progress we will see. So I'm running out of time here. What I'll do is email you all the information. I'll include the links if you want to join on a monthly basis or pay in full. I will share with you all the details, so stay tuned on that. Okay, Money Maestros, don't forget, you deserve to live the life that you want to live, but it's up to you to make it happen. All right, till next time. Bye, everyone. Bye.